Andrew Hodgkinson, and Caitlin Scott. Drum majors, Steve, like up the band. At this time, to honor America and those who serve and protect her, Topeka High School proudly invites you to remove your hat and stand as the band plays the United States Marines hymn, and the colors are presented by members of the United States Marine Reserve Officer Training Corps. Participating cadets are Second Lieutenant Gabriel Lozano, American flag. Second Lieutenant Juan Hernandez on the USMC flag. Sergeant Ray Hope, the rifle bearer, and Lieutenant Corporal Jeremiah Chase, rifle bearer. Now, please remain standing with your hand over your heart and join us in the singing and playing of our national anthem, followed by the Topeka High School song. Ref, I believe we still have an open mic. Ref, if you can turn off that mic. Ladies and gentlemen, under the leadership of band directors Mr. Eric Bradshaw, Mrs. Jennifer Antonetti, and Mr. Seth Cruz, we proudly present the members of the 2018 Topeka High School Trojan Marching Band. This season the band will present Visions of Flight. Our first movement includes the 2001 A Space Odyssey, Superman, the theme from the movie Apollo 13, and the 1967 hit originally recorded by Peter, Paul, and Mary, and then famous by John Denver, Leave It on the Jet Plane. We will finish tonight with our second movement of the show. Songs include Elton John's Rocket Man, with soloists Cole McClendon and Caden Magney, Katina Band from Star Wars, and concluding with the theme song for the television cartoon series The Jetsons.
Thank you for indulging a small delay in our executive session. We'll call this meeting back to order and start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good evening, Dr. Anderson and Board of Education members. My name is Gabrielle Tanner, and I am the principal of Sheldon Head Start and Pine Ridge Prep Preschool, and I am here to introduce my daughter who will be reciting the pledge this evening.
Hi, my name is Adeline Tanner. I go to Jordan Elementary. I'm in first grade. My favorite subjects are math, reading, and art.
Okay, now it's time for the pledge, please.
Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty with injustice for all.
That was the best pledge I have heard. Oh my, and your opening statement, you are a mini principal. Oh my God, I cannot wait to promote you.
I have been my mom's assistant principal before.
I can tell. Oh, assistant principals all over you. All right, I'm going to turn it over to our board members if they have any questions after that wonderful opening statement.
Does anyone have any comments for young Miss Tanner? Mrs. Foley.
So have you already decided what you want to do when you grow up? Are you going to be an assistant principal?
No, I'm going to be an art teacher.
Oh, well, we need art teachers, so you'll keep us in mind, right?
I love art.
We're so glad you were here with us tonight. You had the best introduction that we have had so far. It was pretty awesome.
What do you say?
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your talents tonight, and we look forward to watching you grow in your art skills.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. Next on the agenda is adoption of the agenda.
Mr. President, I move the board approve the agenda as presented.
We have a motion. We have a second. Stuart Campbell offers a second. Is there any discussion on the motion? I don't see any, so Ms. Lister, we're ready to vote. Thank you. We're ready for school highlights, Dr. Anderson.
This is our favorite time of the year. And so we're going to start off with our recognition of our 2021 Governor Scholars. And as we start off with that recognition, we also will be going right back up to the agenda. We may have a video or two, Mr. Gowan, that we might be sending you for volunteers and for ShareFest that we may be showing this evening, and that'll give you time to prepare those. As we start with our recognition of our 2021 Governor Scholars, at this time, I will share with you that several of our Governor Scholars have commitments this evening, so they may not be here this evening. However, our Governor Scholars are represented from all of our high schools, and I believe our high school principals may be here with us this evening. We're going to start off with the list that you see in front of you. And so as I read those names from Highland Park High School, Alicio Borino, which you may remember, he received that full ride scholarship, Rhodes Scholarship. We're so proud of him. Davion Emerson, Andrew Lamb. From Topeka High, Elaine Bunton, Xavier Harrison, Kelm Lear, Anna Maria Paul. From Topeka West, Kate Herrera, Ruth Hockenberger, and Gadio Tradio. And with those, the Governor Scholars Program honors the top academic 1% of all Kansas high school seniors. Scholars are selected from the accredited public and private schools in the state. I believe we have principals and perhaps our Governor Scholars, some of them on with us at this time. I'll turn it over first to any of our principals that are joining us this evening that would like to make a comment or two. Ms. Morrissey or Ms. Kathy?
Absolutely. And sorry, I've got some glare tonight. It is a pleasure again, board members, to present this evening, but I have two of our students on, and we did have our senior recognition night last night. I can tell you, you would have seen Both of these students recognized numerous times throughout the evening for both their academic and their extracurricular achievements. So I'm very proud to introduce both of them. Kelm Lear is on this evening, and so is Anne Maria Paul. Annie Paul is on. So proud of both of them.
As we applaud you from this end, they're both on this evening, so we're going to pull their screens on up so we can see them, and we'll share their certificate and turn it over to our board members to ask questions. Now, you've seen young Lear many times. You may have seen him most recently in the newspaper for the scholarship he run from South Rotary, or you may remember him from past board meetings. And you may have seen many of these other young people as well. We're going to turn it over to our board to ask them questions. Ms. Morrissey, are all your students that are present tonight on the screen, or is there anyone else that we need to bring up that you don't see?
I'm only seeing 4 at a time, but I think they're both there. Yep, I see Annie and Kelm.
All right, I'll turn it over to our board members regarding these 2 Topeka High Governor Scholars, and if others are on, we'll bring them up next.
Mr. Lear, this is what, your 3rd or 4th time attending a board meeting virtually this year, I think. So we're familiar with you, but congratulations to both of you. Does anyone have any questions for these 2 young scholars? Mr. Munoz.
Yeah, can you tell me how did you come about to receive this recognition?
So just like what's sort of the work that we did to achieve this? I like to say thank you to my family and friends for all their support and helping me achieve academically, and also through my extracurricular activities. Those are what sort of kept me motivated all these years, K through 12. And then I'd also like to say thank you to TPS 501 for all the opportunities they provide, like I said, academically and through extracurricular activities.
So wait, could you repeat the question?
Well, I was initially interested in whether there was an application process or whether they selected students who were doing awesome across our state. What was that? Was there a process for this?
I think the criteria was a 4.0 GPA, so straight A's, and our counselor had to do an application for us, and they had to accept the application.
So tell us a little bit about what are your activities? What do you think got you selected as with this this recognition?
So I think with our 4-point GPA and our good standing as a student, I think that our counselor decided that we were good candidates for this award.
And
Marie, what?
You're quite modest. Can you share, just give the overview of just any extracurricular and or some of the kind of courses you take, so the board members understand when you get a 4.0 at Topeka High, they know a whole lot about Kelm. He's been here several times, and we've read quite a bit about him. But Ms. Paul, as we're meeting you for the first time, what's a couple of classes that you've taken that you really feel like pushed you, that you, again, as you have this 4.0, some of those that stood out, just for board members to know what that looks like?
Mm-hmm. I take a lot of AP classes. So I've taken AP Chem, AP Physics, AP Bio. My mom's like an AP Chem teacher, so she pushes me a lot to take very advanced classes. And I'm also president of the medical club, and we go out to students and we help them get interested in the medical field. And we've also given medical kits for the homeless. And I'm also part of the tennis club at school, and I used to play soccer, but I didn't this year because of COVID. And other than that,
well, that's a whole lot, Ms. Paul, and you have a beautiful smile. Thank you for helping the board know it's not just a 4.0, but it's a 4.0 for you and Mr. Lear in some of the most challenging classes that Topeka High offers. I'll mention both certificates and turn it back over to our board for any other questions. Kelm Lear, we are so proud of you, young man. With that, the certificate reads as such for being in the top 1% of the graduating seniors across Kansas. You are exceptional, sir. And Ms. Paul, you two are just exceptional. We congratulate you on being the top 1%. If you were here, we'd be handing you the certificate and giving you a good handshake and hug. But again, we congratulate you.
If I may, Dr. Anderson, Mr. Munoz, They are the top 4 highest GPAs in our school. That's on the weighted scale because of all the AP coursework they take.
Any other questions? Mr. Campbell?
Congratulations, Mr. Lear, Miss Paul. We're so proud of you. So as many know, my son will be starting Topeka High as a freshman this here in August. And if each of you could offer just one piece of advice that I could pass on to him for your success. So what would you tell a freshman about how to have a great time at Topeka High with your grades and extra, just everything? What advice do you have for my son?
Mr. Lear, do you want to start with that, sir?
I certainly can, Dr. Anderson. I would say try to explore all your interests, figure out what really makes like you who you are, and also find what we like to say at Topeka High, your it. Find that extracurricular activity, find that club that really fits who you are, what your personality is. That way you can really strive through that.
Thank you. And Ms. Paul, do you have a piece of advice for our young ladies that come to, or young men, but that come to Topeka High? One piece of advice you'd like to give? Ms. Paul, I'm not sure if you're frozen, but do you have a piece of advice or two that you'd like to give? Not so sure she can fully hear us. So with that, can you hear us?
Oh yeah, I can hear you now.
Do you have a piece of advice?
Yes. I would just say get involved, and like early on, especially because like that's when it matters, especially like if you get involved early, you'll have a lot of opportunities throughout high school. And I would also say like, get into clubs and even like try to start a club, because at THS, like there's so many opportunities and everyone's so accepting of everything. So I think just getting involved is really important.
Thank you both very much. Great advice. I'll pass it on to him.
Again, we thank you and congratulations. And so both of your certificates will be delivered to you tomorrow with some flowers. And Kim, often we give the flowers to the young ladies, but sir, you certainly deserve flowers after the mass deliveries and all the other things you've been involved in. So we'll be delivering those tomorrow. We are so proud of you and all the other students who couldn't be here with us this evening. We also want to make sure that we don't miss any students. So for our other principals, if they are on this evening and they have students, please do let us know. With Mr. Buckendorf, if you're on this evening and have students with us, please do let us know and we'll bring them up on the screen.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Anderson.
Yes, sir.
All three of our governor's scholars obviously are great representatives for TPS 501 and for Highland Park High School. Eliseo, Diavion, and Andrew are all, like I said, all great representatives in the academic realm as well as citizenship and athletics. So, I mean, they obviously are all great representatives for us. I see Eliseo's there, and I see Diavion on. I think Andrew had a previous engagement.
All right, thank you, sir. And again, we are so proud of you. We're going to pull up your certificate for both of you and ask our Dr. Mickelson if he or other members have questions on the certificate. As we share with our last students, for both of you, the certificate will be delivered tomorrow with some flowers. And in that certificate, it says, congratulations on being the top 1% of students across the state of Kansas. So we are, again, so proud of both of you. We're going to bring that certificate on up, the very first one. LSA, I saw you were smiling there. And so you have a nice smile, sir. And with your certificate, as you see on the screen, we'll deliver that tomorrow. And then the second certificate for Devion will also be taking yours to your building. I'll turn it over to Dr. Mickelson if there's a question for our Highland Park students.
Any questions for these two young scholars? Mrs. Boley.
I didn't have a question, but I just want to thank you for all the efforts that you put in and taking advantage of all the things that Topeka Public Schools has in place, because you are the students that we are really reaching out to. We know that if everybody takes the same advantages that you all do, that they could be as successful. So we really appreciate all your efforts and reaching out and doing all that you've done to get this award. So kudos to you. Good job.
Can you both remind us what your plans are next year, what you plan to study and where you're going to study at the LSA? Oh, you're going to Wichita State, correct?
Yes, I'm going to Wichita State, and I plan to study mechanical engineering.
To be a chemical engineer or to do something after your undergraduate degree?
For right now, a bachelor's, and then like if I continue like to pursue like hopefully a master's.
Good. Congratulations. Gavion?
Thank you.
We're still muted there. We're going to unmute you in just a moment.
You have a beautiful smile. Don't cover it up. Oh my.
Thank you. I will be attending Howard University in the fall. I plan on majoring in psychology to become a behavioral scientist rather than practice to become a motivational speaker and a life coach.
Do we have somebody else going to Howard? Or
Spelman. But also another HBCU, that is correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it was me. I was going to Spelman, but I changed it to Howard.
Both good schools, so.
And you're still with the HBCU, so that's also great.
Why did you change?
Howard was offering me more money.
Well, welcome to the grown-up world.
Yes, well, thank you.
I remember you because your smile is so contagious. You know, it's a fun smile. You've got a friendly personality on the screen here. So congratulations to both of you. Any other questions for Mr. Munoz?
Not a question, but so much just I went to see you two at Highland Park at the robing ceremony. So I thought that was really an amazing event to see you honor and highlight a teacher, somebody, you know, an adult who made an impact on you during your time at Highland Park. So that was great. And if you keep it up like you have done for the last 4 years at Highland Park, I know you guys will have a ton of success in the future. So keep it up. Good job.
Thank you.
And congratulations. We're so proud of you. All right, our next school is Topeka West. And we'll ask Mr. Kathy if you're on this evening. Do you have students that are on the screen? And if so, we will bring them up on the screen as well.
Yes, I'm here. And then I also have Miss Ruth Hockenbarger as one of our students who's here. I believe both Gay and Kate, I do not see them. They both had to previous engagements for tonight and were not able to make it. So.
All right, Mrs. Hockenbarger, as we bring your screen up, and look at you in your car. Are you at work? Oh my goodness, you are a hard worker. We won't take up too much of your time. We just want to love on you just a little bit. So we have a certificate. We're going to deliver it Friday with some flowers. I'm going to turn it over to our board members while she's at work to ask a question or two pretty quickly.
Congratulations, Ms. Hockenberger, for your academic achievements in this wonderful award. Are there any questions for her, for Topeka West Scholar? Mrs. Stewart Campbell.
Yes, congratulations. What are your plans after you graduate?
So I am going to Washburn in the fall. I'm already there. Like I just got finished a couple weeks ago with my finals and stuff. I'm going for criminal justice major, like with an emphasis on law enforcement and a leadership minor. Wonderful.
And are you really at work right now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the parking lot because I'm on lunch, but yeah.
Where do you work so we could come?
I work at Walmart, the one on California.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, congratulations again.
Thank you.
That's wonderful that she's working and gets a little break to come and talk to us from her wonders of technology, isn't it great? So congratulations to you and your achievements, and good luck to you next year at Washburn.
Thank you.
And we are so proud of you. Congratulations. All right, those concludes our Governor Scholars. At this time, we also have Dr. Morell on with us, and we have we'll be acknowledging our police officers this evening. And with that acknowledgement, our students that are interning will be acknowledged at that time as well. And before we get to that piece, I believe we do have a video or two queued up, correct? All right, so we're going to circle back to a couple of our videos. We do have some partners with us this evening. Advisors Excel, Ms. Tracy Killal is with us, and we won't be showing that particular video. We sent it to Advisors Excel. They showed it to their team. We will be showing the ShareFest video, however. And Ms. Tracy has been active in every possible way in Topeka Public Schools. We're going to bring up Ms. Tracy's certificate from Advisors Excel and leave it to Mr. Robbins to make a comment or two about Ms. Killo and all that Advisors Excel has been doing. You may remember that previously Lindsay Freeman was the Ms. Tracy. Lindsay Freeman has moved on, and Ms. Tracy is really the connection between Advisors Excel and the community. Mr. Robbins, do you want to say a comment about Advisors Excel as we bring up the certificate?
Thank you, Dr. Anderson. Advisors Excel for a number of years now has been a very strong partner of Topeka Public Schools. They have supported us in numerous ways, and they continue to look for ways that they can expand that partnership. I can tell you where Lindsay left off, Ms. Tracy K has certainly picked up and continued that fine partnership and relationship that had been built previously. There is not enough that we can say or do to express our appreciation to Advisors Excel, and Tracy really is the person who is not only their community engagement director, but also the face of Advisors Excel to not only myself, but to other programs here at Topeka Public Schools. It's been a pleasure getting to know Tracy and working with her, and again, look forward to continuing this fine partnership and us benefiting from the generosity of Advisors Excel and all of the team members there. Thank you, Tracy.
So we so appreciate you. We know we've sent you the video for Volunteer Appreciation Week. Is there a comment briefly that you'd like to make at this time for the board members to know Advisors Excel is providing quite a bit in student scholarships, most recently at College Prep Academy, but also across the district in some pretty amazing ways, in addition to what they do to really serve the whole child. Ms. Tracy, is there a comment that you'd like to make? We can't quite hear you, and I don't know if it's muted or is that just some technical, there might just be some technical glitch. So since we can't quite hear you because you're not muted, we're going to turn it over to a board member or two to express gratitude, and then we will see if you're muted, your audio works. Dr. Mickelson or board members, would you like to make a comment to Advisors Excel representatives?
Just to echo what Mr. Robbins has said, and we so appreciate the partnership that Topeka Public Schools has had with Advisors Excel and the tremendous generosity that you and your company have displayed to our students, and know that it does make a difference. Our students certainly, many of them need external support, and we are so grateful for the work that you and your colleagues do at Advisors Excel to help our students succeed in their educational pursuits. I don't know if your microphone is back working or not. We'll test it out.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, yay. Wonderful. Thank you so much for that acknowledgement. And I have to say that you all make it so easy to support 501. We believe in the staff and we believe in the students, and we're really happy to help however we can. I know it's been a really challenging year in a lot of ways, and there are so many of you that I still would like to meet in person, and I know we will get there soon, but just please know that you have our support, and thank you for everything you do in the community.
Again, thank you. You all are amazing, and we so appreciate you. We can't wait to talk this summer about mental health. I know you've been wanting to talk about that and many other opportunities ahead. Well, we've shown the certificate really to Advisors Excel. We'll be delivering that as well. And the next area that we'd like to just mention for our board, you already heard about us talk about the Washburn partnership. Well, and you wonder how we're funding that. The private-public partnership is in part how we're able to fund that for students that'll be going in August. So again, we are so thankful for our partners. Thank you, Ms. Tracy and team. All right, as we move from talking about our Advisors Excel and scholarships, we do have a partner here today to offer a scholarship, a student scholarship, or it'll go to a student for a student scholarship. We're going to turn to that partner and circle on back to the TCALC team. That particular group is the OFG Financial Services, and I know that they're waiting out in the lobby. They are physically here. They wanted to physically come. So come on in, OFG.
Thank you.
And they have their mics. I'm going to turn mine on off.
Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Todd Payne, and this is Lou Allen. We are both with OFG Financial Services, and we're here to present a check to Dr. Anderson, but let me go through a few preliminary things real quick here, if you don't mind. Several of you know that I'm a Topeka West grad, and my wife, Kelly, is a Topeka High grad. And now it's looking like we're going to have 3 kids who are Topeka High kids. Ethan graduated from Topeka High last year in the middle of the pandemic. He's finishing up his first year at KU right now. Perry is finishing up his sophomore year at Topeka High. And Addison, who's done the Avondale online program this year as an 8th grader, she will now be attending Topeka High next year. So I'm going to be totally outnumbered in my household, it appears. And actually, I couldn't be more thrilled about that. Honestly, I love Topeka High. I love the building and architecture, Sue. And the administration under Mrs. Morrissey and the teachers there are outstanding. So on to business. Let me provide you a little bit of background on OFG Financial Services. So OFG stands for Ogden Financial Group. The owner of our company is a guy named Ken Ogden. Ken has been in the securities and retirement plan business for 52 years now here in Topeka. OFG is a Topeka-based broker-dealer. We've been located at 6th and Kansas for a long time now. We employ about 30 people in the Topeka area. About half of those are in the back office at 6th and Kansas downtown. And the other half are investment representatives who are out in the field taking care of their customers. And then we have about another 20 representatives located throughout the rest of the state of Kansas. We have a substantial amount of retirement plan business with Security Benefit, which all of you know is another Topeka-based company. And with its affiliates, they employ almost 1,000 people here in Topeka. A good portion of those retirement plans we have with Security Benefit are 403B plans and 457 plans with school districts. So the core business of ours over the years has always been helping school teachers and administrators with their retirement. We continue to work with a large majority of the school districts in Kansas, and we have countless other districts we work with in the states of Oklahoma, Texas, Tennessee, Arizona, and Missouri. And then to you board members and administrative personnel, we want to make sure that you know that you can always reach out to us if you have any questions related to the district's retirement plans, how to increase participation, how to improve or increase employee choice within your plans. If you ever want to implement a match, 403B compliance issues, administration issues, etc. We have significant experience on these types of things with so many school districts over the years, and so does Security Benefit. One thing we've been doing for a long time here in Kansas, OFG has supported the Superintendent of the Year award and program. And so, and we like to thank Kansas superintendents for their service to their communities, to education, and to the families and kids in their communities. And so each year we like to help support the program by providing contributions to the scholarship funds of the school districts represented by the Superintendent of the Year winner and the finalists. So we have typically given $2,000 to the school district of the winner and $1,000 each to the districts of the finalists, and we'll continue to do this out into the future. So this year we should congratulate Dr. Justin Henry of Goddard as the award winner, and Dr. John Burke of Hayesville, Dr. Chad Higgins of Mays, and Dr. Tiffany Anderson of USD 501 Topeka as finalists for the award. Tonight, we want to congratulate Dr. Anderson and present that check to you and on your written to 501 on your behalf and for being a finalist for the award. So thank you very much.
Thank you. It feels odd being this socially distant. I know we're probably more
That's
than
right.
6 feet away. Thank you, one, for the contribution for student scholarships, but most importantly, thank you, board members, for your support and for just giving me the privilege to serve alongside you. I so appreciate you and love this district and students. And to be able to gain a scholarship for students just by doing what you love is just another blessing. Again, thank you so much for your support.
Outstanding. You're welcome. Yeah. Thank you.
That student scholarship that will go to another student that'll get $1,000. That is exciting. We're going to now talk about National Police Officer Week. I think I'm going out of order, so I'm throwing our technology DJ off a little bit. But we are, I saw Mrs. TCALC, our TCALC team on. Dr. Morrell actually has another engagement, but Ms. Johnson is on with us from TCALC. She's our assistant principal. Ms. Johnson also wants to talk about some police officer interns. As you know, Topeka Public Schools is one of the few places with a police officer pathway. And so we'll start off with Ms. Johnston, acknowledging our young people, and we'll go straight into acknowledging our police department. Ms. Johnston.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anderson. We do have 2 of our student interns on with us this evening, as well as Officer Gogian. He is our teacher for the Law and Public Safety Pathway. This year, they are year 2 students. So we've had this program for 2 years, and they have completed all of the requirements to be able to be put into internships. They have partnered with Topeka Police Department, and Officer Gogian is here to just explain a little bit about the internships that they have been working on this semester.
Officer Gogian, again, happy National Police Officer Week. And I know you are a true teacher. In this space, you have about 15 seconds to kind of share that piece, and then we're going to turn it over to the students to kind of just highlight who they are, and then the board members will get a chance to speak with them, and we'll turn it back to our team to do the recognition. Officer Gogian, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. So our 2 student interns for the duration of the spring semester have been interning with the Topeka Police Department, more specifically with our training unit, helping out with our academy, helping out with recruiting and hiring, and with the school resource officers as well. So they've gotten the chance to really job shadow an entire hiring process where those recruits are in the academy now.
Now that's impressive in 15 seconds. Wow. Officer Gogian is pretty exceptional as part of TPD and as an instructor. Mrs. Johnson, do you want to acknowledge the names of our 2 student interns?
Absolutely. Here with us tonight, we have Haley Cruz, and we also have Ruth Hockenbarger, who you've already seen once this evening.
So we want to congratulate the 2 of you. And I believe one of you may be going directly into, I'm sorry, the board members might want to ask, what are you doing after high school? So I'm going to turn it over to our board to ask any questions that they like to ask of our interns. And Ruth, we know that you are on break. You're back in the building now, so you're probably at work right now. So we'll turn it over to our board members.
Hope your manager is understanding of you being recipient of all these awards. You're probably well deserving of a little latitude. We know you're, Ruth, you're headed to Washburn to study criminal justice or criminal. And Haley, what are your plans next year?
I'm also going to Washburn for criminal justice and human studies.
Great. Does anyone have any questions for either of these 2 young future police officers?
Were either of you interested in criminal justice before you went to TCALC and started studying it?
I was. I've been an explorer for a couple of years, so, and Officer Gogian's one of the advisors for that, and he told us about the program, and so that's why I joined.
And I wasn't sure if I really wanted to be a police officer or work in the criminal justice field at all, and that is why I applied for TCALC, and TCALC definitely sold me on what I want to do in the future.
I'm hesitant to wade into this topic, but the police have come under some attack this past year. have you had any repercussions because of that? And your interest in serving as a police officer?
I think just being young, you have a lot of friends that ask questions like, "Oh, you're just gonna be a narc," and it's just a lot of negative from teenagers. But it's more about that positive impact is what keeps me going.
Absolutely. Well, we hope we will always have need of good police officers, and hopefully the training you've received at TCALC with Officer Gogian will form a foundation for you to continue to pursue those dreams. So congratulations and thank you for your work this year and the student internships with TPD. So thank you to Officer Gogian.
So with those acknowledgements, we're going to begin with reading our proclamation. Our own chief is here this evening. Mrs. Hockenberger, we know you're at work. I saw you looking behind you and I see you tapping your fingers. I tell you what, both of you all, we are so proud of you. Congratulations. As you get ready to log off, just know that we will continue to celebrate you on this end. And I think, are one of you planning to work at the dispatch? Was that any one of these two students? I thought that was Miss Hockenberger. Okay. All right. So with that possibility, we're excited about potentially being a dispatch officer in the future.
She can't acknowledge that while she's at her work. That she's thinking of.
Oh, that's right. You're at your job. Okay. My goodness. And you are such a hard worker. Again, we're so proud of you both. So if you need to log on off, feel free to do that as we continue with our acknowledgements of our police officers. We're going to go right on into National Police Officer Week. And with that, our own Chief Generette is here. We had a whole video that we displayed throughout this week. He's actually physically here, so he's probably going to come on in. I'm going to hand him the microphone, and he will start us off with reading our proclamation for our police officers. Chief Generette, come on down. Oh, let's see. He had to go get his glasses. Here he comes.
Yeah, I have to get my reading glasses.
Sir. And I think they're going to pull it up on the screen and you'll be able to
Oh.
see it nice and large. And we want everyone to see you, sir. Come right on up. I think, okay, yes, perfect. There you go. I'm gonna pull it up on the screen and you can read it for as well. Oh, he reminded me, we read the proclamation the last time.
I was gonna say, I don't have that one. I did, yeah.
But we do want to acknowledge your police officers that are here with us this evening. And you have a female police officer
Yes.
with you this evening. Come on in. Come on in. All right, so we read the police recognition the last time. Chief Generette, we just want to say to you and all of your officers, we've already showed the video. I believe we have a little clip here to show this evening as well. We want to thank you. Not many officers have a woman on the force, and your presence has helped encourage our two young women who are actually now entering. Enjoy the video as you get a chance to see how many.
video comes to a close, we want to just say, first of all, our certificate here for you, sir. Topeka Public School District recognizes TPS officers during National Police Week for their service to Topeka Public Schools. We know with you and as our chief, we feel safer, we feel more uplifted, we feel appreciated. You have some of the most positive energy I've ever met, truly. In fact, one of your new officers shared that, you and many others are like mentors, fathers, grandfathers, as we see all those years of service. We also want to acknowledge both our Sergeant Hill and as well as our chief for TPD as we celebrate all of our officers, in addition to the volunteers that you made mention for us to be sure to mention. Sir, would you like to make a comment or two before we end with that final applause?
I just want to thank the board, Dr. Anderson and Mr. Robbins, for all the support, wonderful support you've given us. And it's truly an honor and a privilege to serve the students, faculty, and staff of this district every day.
Thank you, Chief Generette. We love you. All right, with that, we're going to continue with our proclamations. Let me get this right. So Speech and Hearing Month, I'm going to keep standing right on here. I see the ladies standing out there. So Mrs. Dr. Harrington and Speech and Hearing team, you want to come on down, I think, or they're on the screen. I said, oh, they're on the screen. All right, so we're going to pull the proclamation up. Some people are showing up and some people are on the screen. I got to get this right of who's here and who is on the screen. All right, we're going to turn it over to Dr. Harrington, and I believe Ms. McKissick is going to share who's going to be reading this evening. Oh, and for those that didn't hear, it was mentioned how nice it is to have people here today. So we'll turn it over to our speech and hearing team to get started.
Hello, I'm Elizabeth McKessick, coordinator for the Speech and Language Department, and joining me tonight to read parts of the proclamation is Dr. Angelica Pearson, our new district audiologist. We just wanted to quickly say thank you for taking time tonight to celebrate and recognize Better Speech and Hearing Month. Dr. Pearson, would you like to start?
Yeah, thank you again for inviting us tonight. I'm going to go ahead and start with the proclamation. Whereas more than 42 million people in the United States, 1 in 10 families have hearing, speech, or language impairments. And whereas most people with communicative disorders can be helped through medical and surgical treatment, hearing aids, and hearing and speech rehabilitation. Whereas the healthcare costs for therapy, devices, and medical care, plus the indirect costs of income lost for people with communicative disorders, are estimated at more than $30 billion per year. And whereas hearing loss often can be prevented or mitigated through public awareness, early detection, and medical intervention, other remedies include technology and education for communication access.
Whereas by raising awareness of communication disorders and the critical need for early professional intervention, we underscore this year's theme, Building Connections. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Topeka Public Schools Unified School District number 501, Topeka, Kansas, does proclaim May 2021 as Better Speech and Hearing Month. I would love if Dr. Pearson could take a few minutes, or not a few minutes, a few seconds to just introduce herself. She is new to us this year. She is a Topeka High graduate in 2006, and she is an awesome addition to our TPS family.
Hi, thank you. I just wanted to quickly introduce myself. I don't think I've had the pleasure of meeting quite a few of you in person. I am new to the district, but I am familiar as I am a Topeka High graduate. I recently completed my program at the University of Kansas Medical Center in Kansas City, and I just am beginning my career here in the district. So that's just a little about myself.
Well, and Dr. Pearson, Ms. McKissick could not say enough great things about you, how amazing you are. And the fact that you're alum and couldn't wait to run on back over here and serve is truly remarkable. We'll turn it over to our board to ask any questions. And I think Ms. McKissick, I'm not sure if the screen is going to be pulled up with all the years of service of your staff, but if you want to share how many staff members you have so that the board members know that, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, I thought I would do speech and language info in 15 seconds. How about that?
You go right on ahead.
Okay. We have 34 phenomenal speech pathologists, 12 amazing paraprofessionals. We currently have 1,260 students that we serve throughout the district. Our combined years of experience, if I did my math correctly, is 336 years that we bring to the table. We have one previous Distinguished Staff Award winner. We had one nominee this year. And we are currently celebrating our kind of 100th year at being recognized as a profession.
Thank you. And we pulled up that list of names and all those years of service as well. For the new board members, one of our Magna Award winners was written by Miss Peggy Fisher, one of members of the speech team. And that's how we won one of those Magna Awards. In fact, the first one when I arrived, she wrote that one.
And she was also one of our Distinguished Staff Award members. So she was one of the ones that won. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ms. McKissick. I'm going to turn it over to our board members for any questions they may have.
Reverend Williams.
Yes, I have a question of Dr. Pearson, just a question of curiosity. Are you Dean Pearson's daughter by chance? I thought you looked familiar.
I am.
It's been a few years.
Yeah, it has been.
Good to see you.
Mr. Munoz.
Yeah, my question is, how has your work during the school been impacted during this COVID-19 year that we've had?
I would say the biggest impact has been the fact that I haven't been able to be in the schools and see the kids as much as I would have liked this year. So just with them being remote, I wasn't able to go and meet everyone in their classroom, observe their learning environments. I'm hoping that that will be much different next year, and I'll be able to put faces to the names and serve them a little better in the classroom.
I just want to say, I personally know how important your work is because myself, I needed speech therapy until I was in 2nd grade. And I could not enunciate, Dr. Fierro, one of our SLPs. So I used to say pronounce. I said, I couldn't pronounce my R's. And she's like, well, it's actually, we say enunciate. And so now I know how to correctly say that. But yeah, I could not enunciate my R's. And I had a great teacher, and this was in a different school district, but listen to me now. I could enunciate my R's, and I could do it in Spanish too.
Your R's sound amazing.
So thank you so much for your work.
Thank you. Thank you for your recognition.
Dr. Morrison.
I've said this every year, but my brother was a speech pathologist for many years in Northeast Kansas. And so I'm very familiar with what you all do. And I just want to thank you for what you do.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We enjoy getting to be where our love is just working with the students. So that's really what gets us up every morning and out of bed.
Like Mr. Campbell, I could not enunciate my S's. And for somebody whose first name is Scott, that was a problem. And I say this every year. Mike says the same about his brother, but I can remember going to a speech therapist as a 1st grader, and I drew a lot of pictures of things that began with the letter S, like snakes, and then I would say them. And, I still remember that very vividly. I don't remember a lot about my young elementary days, but I remember going. The office was next to the principal's office, and I would color and work on my language skills. So, Mrs. Boley, do you have a question?
I've worked with many of those people on your list, and they have just make such great relationships with their students, and they're just so totally amazing, and they just change students' lives. And to watch them when their teachers your people would come to their door, they would get out of their desk and almost run to the door because they just love working with the people that you are working with as well. And they just love them. So I just really appreciate that life-changing piece you have for students. It's just really wonderful. And the people I've worked with, they are top rate.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We just want to thank you again, Dr. Anderson, members of the board, Dr. Harrington, for your continued support of the department and recognition of our efforts throughout the year.
You can see there's a lot of love from our board for you and your departments.
Thank you.
So keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And with all those years of service, that list that you saw, we'll be putting that on social media. So if you're wondering how many years from 1 year to decades in the district, you'll get a chance to see that if you follow our social media. All right, with that, again, congratulations to all our speech teachers. Our final award, and so this particular event really sets the stage for what our buildings look like across the district. Pastor Jeremy, so Pastor Jeremy is on this evening. He's been waiting quite a bit of time, but we have a little video. Now they create their own video as well, but we created a video the day of ShareFest, and Pastor Jeremy will just share a little bit about what was accomplished. The fact he did this in a pandemic is pretty amazing to still pull this off. And so while they weren't inside, they were outside. Enjoy the little link to the video, and then we'll turn it over to Pastor Jeremy.
ShareFest volunteers for helping.
Although we can't see it on the screen, but we can hear it. We're going to turn it over to Pastor Jeremy first and give our DJ Gowan a chance to, he really is quite the DJ. We're going to turn it back on over to Mr. Gowan to show the video, then we'll come back to you, Mr. Wynn.
It didn't take, I'll get it.
All right, Mr. Gowan has suggested we proceed with your comments first, and then he'll pull on up the video. Pastor Jeremy, you want to tell us a little bit about ShareFest and what all was accomplished, and then we'll love on you a little bit and end with that video.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Dr. Anderson. Thank you, board, for inviting me and allowing me to be a part of this. Yeah, we were really bummed the year before when we had to postpone and ultimately cancel ShareFest. So when we got the green light and we contacted the district in January and said, hey, what do you want to do? We got the green light to move forward. Our team was thrilled and excited, and ultimately we had 24 churches partnering together, about a little over 800 volunteers, 12 different sites, and able to get a lot of work accomplished. And everyone that served was so thankful for the opportunity to be able to be outside and be able to work. And so just so appreciative for the district of how they worked with us, and we were able to get the projects done and get out the things laid out outside. Thankful for all the churches that partnered with us. They donated people and man hours and funding and so many different things. Advisors Excel donated quite a bit of funds as well, and thankful for our team. So it really, ShareFest, it's serving our city, serving our school district with no strings attached, and we were thankful to be a part of it again this year.
And thank you, Pastor Jeremy. I'm going to turn it over to any board members that have any questions or comments that they'd like to make as well.
Mrs. Boley.
Wow, I was over at Williams this week, and talk about blow away beautiful. It was just amazing to drive up to that building, and the other ones as well. Some of them that I visited, they're just so beautiful. You just add so much to our district, all the people that volunteer. You guys are remarkable what you're able to do in such a short time. And we just so appreciate it. You just make us shine. So thank you.
Pastor Jeremy, just 800 people to coordinate and 24 different churches. That's a lot of work. We know that it takes a lot of effort to coordinate all that, and collaboration with all of your other pastors that throughout the community. And so we're just so grateful for you and your congregations that are so willing to roll up their sleeves and help our community, beautify our schools, and make it a better place for us to live and educate kids. So thank you so much. Please share our thanks with all those other pastors and their congregations. We're so grateful for their help. I wonder if we have the video queued up.
And we do. So we just went to the YouTube. If you want to see this video, just go to our YouTube and click on play, and you'll get a chance to see it as well.
Volunteers for helping us have such a wonderful day. So from Deputy Superintendent Robbins and myself, we want to thank you. Because of your work, we save tons of dollars. We save thousands upon thousands of dollars because you choose to purchase items for schools, provide the labor, and to support us in such a special way.
ShareFest is an opportunity for us to give back to the schools and to lots of great places here in Topeka. And so we thought we'd get up early on a Saturday and help out in whatever way we can.
My family and I all did it together the first time, I would say about
probably about 7 years ago. I just absolutely love when a community comes together to take care of their community. I mean, what's better than that? It's kind of like the church being the church, right? The community taking care of the community, and I absolutely love that.
And it's just been superb to have them here. Our campus is going to look so lovely. They've done painting, they've spread mulch, they've planted flowers, they're painting our playground equipment. It's going to look beautiful. And it is work that we just couldn't get done on our own because of the days and the time, we just don't have it.
ShareFest just means a community coming together to help others, to show each other love.
There's always lots of work, and taking that time to help out is really appreciated, and we thank everybody.
Be inspired to go wherever this community needs help, needs beautification, needs support. Just be inspired by it and get out and be a part of Topeka and do something good for Topeka in any small way.
We're so thankful for our partnerships with the churches around Topeka and all of the materials that they donate year after year. They truly transform our school, and we are just so thankful every single year for their support.
So thank you for loving on us, supporting us, and happy Volunteer Appreciation Week. Today is a special day. Thank you so much, ShareFest volunteers.
Thank you, Pastor Jeremy. I don't know if you saw that video since it's on our YouTube. We so appreciate you. Any final comments, Pastor Jeremy, before you head on out?
I don't think so. I love the video. I appreciate all the kind words. I will pass it along to our partners. And we actually just had a meeting earlier this week to start thinking about next year. So we're excited to continue forward to what lies ahead. So again, thank you for another great year and look forward to next year.
Thank you, Pastor Jeremy, for showing what love in action looks like. And we'll make sure to send the video directly to you so you can forward it along. All right. That concludes all of our awards. It is right after 7, and so we turn it back on over to the board as we have finished all of our acknowledgements and recognitions. What a great way to start an evening.
Thank you, Dr. Anderson. Next on the agenda is public communications. I think we have one person who has requested to speak, and I think she's here personally. So Mr. Gowan's going to go retrieve her and offer her a microphone. Ms. Bornholt, as you approach us, there's some instructions I'm going to read to you, and please come forward and state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes to address the board. We ask that your respects to the board be respectful. If you have a complaint against a specific employee, we ask that you submit your written complaint to the superintendent. If the complaint is against the superintendent, please address your written complaint to either me as board president or to the clerk of the board. Thank you.
My name is Carly Vornholt and my address is 1259 Southwest High in Topeka. I am a mother of 4 and I am employed by 501. I'm a special education para. I am requesting that the mask requirement in our schools be lifted and made optional to our staff and students. I work at an elementary school and I am with students at all times. I am with mainly 5 and 6 year olds. The masks are being worn at PE and recess by the children. And on the World Health Organization website, it advises against this. It is very hard to breathe in the masks during physical activities. I have several kids complain about the masks every single day to me, every day. And with our muggy weather, it's going to get even harder to breathe in these masks outdoors in recess and during PE. Not to mention their masks are soaked with slobber and snot by 9 and 10 a.m. They play with their masks, they chew on them, throw them, and drop them on the ground, and then they pick them up and put them on their sweet little faces. Their masks are disgusting. And I've seen kids wear the same mask every day to school, and I've seen kids with mold on their mask, and it is making them sick. Facial recognition is very important for their young minds. You cannot see any emotion in a person wearing a mask. It is scary to a kindergartner, not to mention we have no idea what kind of psychological damage we are doing to these kids with this mask. What if this little girl was molested or raped by someone And that person covered their mask or covered their mouth while doing this act. So now she is forced by her school to wear a mask covering her mouth. And this is a trigger. And now we are seeing behaviors and causing even more trauma to this child. And trauma is something that we are taught about a lot as employees as 501. Or maybe I was the one who was raped, and maybe this is the trigger for me. This is why masks must be optional. It's no one's business why I choose to wear one or why I choose not to wear one. Children are not major spreaders of COVID, and adults have the vaccine available to them if they want it, which is also no one's business besides their own, because asking someone if they got it would be a violation of HIPAA. I have been watching other districts, and they have either lifted the mask requirement altogether or are allowing kids to take their masks off during physical activities. 437 is not requiring masks next year.
I'm sorry, your time is up.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is disposition of business by consent. I'll entertain a motion to do that. Dr. Bonebrake, do you have a comment? Okay.
Mr. President, I move the board approve the items of business by consent as presented and authorize the board president or superintendent to sign the special project and purchasing contracts for and on behalf of the board.
Thank you, Reverend Williams. We have a motion. Is there a second to the motion? Dr. Bonebrake offers a second. Is there any discussion on the motion?
Yes, Dr. Milkelson, I believe Mr. Robbins or Mr. Minky had some information they wanted to share with the board at this time.
I know there's on the agenda or on the consent agenda is the bill for the winter months for our gas bill. And I think that's Mr. Mankey's joined our meeting. So we want to add some clarity around that. That'd be helpful for us, and your recommendation to proceed, please.
Yes, thank you. Everybody hear me okay?
Is your microphone on? I'm not sure it is.
That one? Is that better? Okay. So we've kind of been talking about gas bills since February, March. There were some reports that folks were getting, particularly school districts and other commercial businesses, very large bills. So we've been looking for our February bill for a while. And actually, we've been looking for our January, February, and March bills, and they have arrived. A couple of board agendas ago, I had requested, because there was a timeline constraint, that we join the Kansas Association of School Boards and the other K-Jump members in a consortium of school districts that collectively KASB on behalf of the school districts engaged a law firm to look into the charges, the February charges. So ongoing conversations between the legal counsel that Kansas Association of School Boards hired with Symmetry, okay? And that has been ongoing. And what where we're at currently, and this is just really an update, and I had given you kind of a look at the January, the February, and the March bills. And then on the summary, I kind of really wanted to kind of put it in perspective for you of kind of what the per BTU charges have been in and around a 5 or 6 month period. You can see in October 2020, the BTU price was $2.17. Cold weather starts coming, it creeps up. That's pretty normal to $3.15 a BTU. December, it edged down again a little bit, $3.04. January, $2.81. Again, in the winter months, it's a supply and demand. But here comes February. We all know we had the winter storm Uri. It actually has a name. And we were in the freezer for a while. Our consumption of gas during that period was not higher. So our much larger February bill was due to the rate. So you could see that at $17.88 a BTU. So we raced from January 281 to $17.88, and a lot of folks don't feel that's fair. Initially, the law firm that has been working with Kansas Association of School Boards and K-Jump had counseled that districts not pay higher than the statutory limit, which is in between $4.50 and $5 a BTU. Actually, it was $4.57 a BTU. That was the original thinking. Currently, the group is recommending that probably there will be a settlement between $9 and $10 a gallon or BTU for the February bills. So down from that $18 to $20 range down into the $9 range. And I made a calculation for the board on the summary that would reduce our $512,000 February bill down by about $204,000 or 44%. So currently, and that is not a final settlement, that is just the latest information we've gotten from the Kansas Association of School Boards and K-Jump, but they feel like they're very close to a settlement, and they believe their thinking is that this is a 1 month event, and a prolonged legal battle wouldn't end up benefiting schools as much as settling because of course legal fees and other considerations. I will tell you the district has been involved in legal settlements for gas. And I know Ms. Cope had worked on our behalf to be part of a previous settlement, but that was what they had discovered. There were gas charges were above allowed over a period of time. So that did end up going to court and getting litigated. But this 1 month problem right now, K-Jump and the Kansas Association of School Boards, it looks like they're going to recommend a settlement for all of the district members of the K-Jump consortium. So we will pay our January and March bills, which were really normal compared to other like periods. And we will hold on to our $512,000 February bill. I'm going to frame that, put it up in my office. But we'll hold on to that until we get final resolution from the Kansas Association of School Boards and K-Jump on any settlement.
How do the gas companies justify such an exorbitant rate increase when the usage isn't that much greater?
Yeah, that's the big question. We know that supply and demand can drive pricing. So when you have an extreme weather event like Uri, that certainly would drive pricing up, as well as the problems that they had in Texas. The cold weather pushing down there and shutting some production facilities down. But I think everybody would agree that $18 to $20 a BTU is not justifiable in any circumstance.
9 really isn't either.
Yeah, there is a debate to be had there. But I think the thought again is this is a 1 month event and probably, I'm not involved with the legal team in Kansas Association of School Boards, but I can relay what that group is telling district administrators is that they're getting very close to a settlement, and their legal counsel is recommending that.
My question was, how long do you think that your estimation of when this will be wrapped up? Any sense?
I would say fairly quickly. Yeah, I would say if any settlement would be able to be reached, and we just had an update before I walked in. KASB provided an update with still pretty strong language that they're really close to a settlement around that $9 a BTU range for the February bills.
And whatever amount that we end up finalizing, that's going to come out the above and beyond what it normally is going to come out of our reserves. Is that right?
That is another major reason for kind of highlighting this now is I would recommend the board consider taking that out of our current contingency 7153, and per our unencumbered cash balances this evening, you see our May 1 balance was about 3.2 million. And that's exactly what this reserve fund is for. I'm not sure that this board has been exposed yet, but you will, about cash balances. Oftentimes school district will be singled out, and lots of people like to talk about cash balances until somebody gets a $500,000 or $1 million gas bill.
Any other questions for Mr. Mankey? Thank you for your commentary and update.
Okay, thank you very much.
So is there any other discussion on the consent agenda? I don't see any, so Mrs. We're ready to vote, Ms. Lister.
The vote is open. Dr. Von Breck, did you want to vote by hand or?
He's got it. I got it.
Okay. Thank you. All votes are in and the motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is superintendent's report. Dr. Anderson.
Thank you. At this time, I'm going to start off with giving an update on that strategic plan and equity update. As you know, we were in the midst of strategic planning. Then the pandemic happened and all things turned to the pandemic. Therefore, we'd like to push back the equity update, which we give at the end of the year, to one of the board meetings in June. That'll give us an opportunity to have Ms. Wallace and her team here, who did a lot of instructional work this year on the Equity Council. And it will allow her and her team to be part of that. And additionally, it also gives that extra year for us just to see how summer school that went away, which is now replaced by extended school year, is occurring. So remember, extended school year is in June and July. And when we come back, we should know how many students are enrolling in our extended school year, how many students enrolled in the academic portion as opposed to the enrichment. So we'd love to add that into the equity update because that is another change. So second meeting in June, we'd like to bring that back to the board. Regarding strategic plan, the goals under the strategic plan, many of the academic goals are very heavy on assessments and assessment performance, which we were making progress on. I suspect that this year we'll have some opportunities to revisit after the pandemic and talk about opportunity gaps and learning loss and what we're doing in that regard. So likewise, I'd like to suggest that that strategic plan that would normally conclude at the end of 2021, that we stretch that year back to make up for that year and a half that we missed. And that gives us an opportunity for all those goals that we didn't focus on in the last year, that we get a chance to give our staff an opportunity to focus on those goals rather than replace those with new ones, given that that was not the focus last year. So we'll be coming back as well, just right this time, asking the board that that strategic plan that would end of June, end of December 2021, that we stretch that to 2022. So all the 2021 things and all the 2020 things that weren't worked on, our staff knows that they have time to do that. With that, if the board is just by consensus okay with that, that extra year then gives us a time to go back into bringing back the new goals for the strategic plan October through December of 2021. So when 2022 comes around, all we're doing is updating the plan for the future. If that's adequate for the board, and then we'll add it to the board's retreat in June and July. So during the retreat, we'll be talking about here's where we were before the pandemic. Here are some goals that we know we still have, and we'll be talking about the work that the board would like us to look at. So that's just a very general overview in that regard. I do want to share that under the consent agenda, one of the items in our board update is the equity pillar. And under that equity pillar, we do want to share that under the consent agenda, we added 3 new bilingual assistant principals, and we want to congratulate them. I know they're watching and they're wondering if their names were called. Well, under the consent, they're on the personnel report, and we want to congratulate the 3 new bilingual APs at Robinson, Landon, and at Ross that we've added to our team of as we continue to support bilingual literacy. All right, so at this time, we really want to talk about the vaccinations. We still are in this COVID period and pandemic period. We're going to start off with the video from our vaccination clinic. We know several board members had some questions about numbers and all of those things. Dr. Gray is working behind the scenes in that area, so he's going to give an update.
The governor's coming today. This is our first day of our school vaccination clinic for students that are aged 12 to 15. So we're probably the first ones in the state because this was just approved last week. And here's why this is important. It's so important that we give as much healthcare access right here in the school system that we can. So with the vaccines, our students are coming in through one end. There's a therapy dog that's right here greeting students and helping them feel great through the process. Some parents are here to get their vaccinations at the same time, making it a family event. When students that says I'm vaccinated and they head on back to school.
I'm feeling pretty good. It's a relief to know that I got it already. I think it's important because then I can go visit my grandparents and I don't have, when I get my second shot, then I won't have to worry about potentially exposing them to COVID.
I'm Jimena Garcia, and I'm Governor Kelly's COVID-19 Vaccine Equity Advisor, and I'm here today super excited to see all these preteens and teens getting vaccinated. It's really cool to see Topeka High and 501 being a leader in health and vaccinating kids as soon as we can.
Everybody wants to get back to normal, Dr. Anderson. You know it, I know it, they all know it. And this is the path to normal, is the more people get vaccinated, whether they're kids or whether they're adults, the more we're going to be able to get rid of these masks and get back to, having the kind of interaction with people, being in the classroom, being able to work as a team. Those are all things that are so important in our education system. And the vaccination will allow us to go back to that, moving away from the remote or the distance learning.
And because you helped us start school in September, our last vaccination is on the very last day of school on June 3rd. So thank you for that wisdom.
You are so good.
Thank you for that wisdom. So starting Monday, ending on June 3rd, it's the perfect way to end the year. And that means all these families. We have 1,000 students because of you kind of coming through this space and all of other high schools.
That's great.
This is one of several, but this is the first time for 12 to 15. And And as as the parents continue to ask for this, we're going to continue to make schools the center of the community. And with your help,
As they
far more
always have been and
vaccinated.
always should be.
Absolutely,
So, very good.
absolutely.
We just thank Kansas Department of Health and Environment and Governor Kelly for partnering to make this possible. I believe we were one of the first in the state this past Monday for the 12 to 15-year-olds. And then the next day was the vaccinations, the second vaccination for those that came through previously. Dr. Gray is here to answer any questions and to share overall numbers. Now, when we give that approximate 1,000 number, he'll give the specifics, but that includes what we anticipate doing this summer. So on the week of my birthday, on June 12th, on Saturday at the pantry, we're going to give vaccinations. We'll have a mobile vaccination clinic. You can stay in your car. So for all those parents watching that are tired, just roll out, drive on up to Jardine Middle and stay in the car, and they can give you the shot while you're in the car. You can keep going and bring friends with you. So we're going to do that in June. And then thanks to Mr. Hare, we're going to do that again in July. You don't have to be someone coming to the pantry. You could just be someone that you don't work on Saturdays and you just choose to come on that day. So we're excited about that as well. We believe with those two additions, we may well have that 1,000 or more met. Dr. Gray, do you want to talk about the vaccination clinics, how many people we have, and any other information?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Anderson. Again, we were very excited about the vaccination clinic that was partnered through KDHE. On our first clinic, again, which was geared towards 16 and above, that was on April 29th, we had 176 individuals that were vaccinated. Just this Monday, which was May 17th, we had 444 individuals that were vaccinated. And then that Tuesday, which was the second dose, to the April 29th, we had an additional 164 individuals who were vaccinated. So in total, we're looking at about 784 individuals who have been vaccinated over the last few weeks. So we're very excited. The students were very excited. They received stickers stating that I've been vaccinated, and just the excitement among the students was just something you would want to just experience for yourself. So those are the numbers.
And those stickers were made by Dr. Gray and his team. So we thank him and his team for that creative energy into that. We're going to open this up for board members about any questions that you may have about the vaccination clinics now and the ones in the future.
What questions do you have? 2 thumbs up from Dr. Morrison.
That's what was on the
Head
sticker,
shaking.
actually.
Just kudos to you and your team for making this happen. It's a giant step to returning back to normal. So we're thankful for your leadership and your coordination, Dr. Gray. We know it doesn't happen easy, and we're partnering with the state, and KDHE also is important too. So we're grateful for all of your energy to keep our students safe and sound.
Thank you for that comment. Not seeing any questions. To end that vaccination piece, KDHE has now agreed to also provide all student immunizations as a mobile clinic, because during the pandemic, immunizations kind of dropped off and they're pretty far behind. So students can get their, DTaP and any other immunizations by coming up through KDHE at the beginning of the year and over the summer. So when they're giving those shots in June and July, they also will be able to do all immunizations. And if you've already had your vaccine and just want to come and get your immunizations, they anticipate, certainly for July for sure, and as we go into August. So we just, again, thank them for that creative thought as we continue to bring the health clinics to our families and to the streets. With that, Dr. Gray, also as the other superintendent's update, he's been working tirelessly over the graduation, and we're getting calls. So that means you must be getting calls regarding this wonderful rain that we're having. We're so excited to have the rain. Now we won't be excited to have it on Saturday or Sunday. And so Dr. Gray will just kind of give a reminder about the graduation for those that are listening, that there are 2 dates. And then the rain delay plan, should it rain, he'll share that. And we'll open this up for board members. We know some members, this is your first time. So if you have questions about where to park or what to do, this is a great time to do that as well. Dr. Gray has put a piece of paper at your desk that kind of goes through some of these things. Dr. Gray, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Anderson. Again, we're super excited about our graduation that's going to be happening this weekend. Our 2021 graduation will be happening on Saturday, May 22nd. The times are, we're going to begin at 9:30 with Topeka West, and then we're going to end at 3:30 with Topeka High. 12:30 is Highland Park. Again, this is going to be on Saturday. In the event that we have a rain delay, that time will be moved to Sunday. So we'll still have the same times, but it will be on Sunday. The 2020 graduation will be at 9 o'clock on Sunday, May 23rd, in the event that we still have graduation on Saturday. So again, those times are Topeka West 9 o'clock, 10:30, Highland Park High, and Topeka High is at noon. In the event that we do have rain and we have to go to our rain delay plan, again, 2021 graduations will be at the same time, but the 2020 graduations will be in the evening, 6 o'clock. And you can see it on your handout. And for those that are listening online, we put this information on our social media, as well as there's a quick link, graduation information, as well as on our banner. So those times are 6 o'clock for Topeka West, 6:30 is Highland Park, and 7 o'clock is Topeka High. For those that cannot make it to the graduation, this graduation will be live streamed on our YouTube channel. So we do have that available for families who cannot, for some reason, make it to the graduation. And then we also have some friendly reminders. Again, staff will be parking in the west parking lot at Hummer. And all public will park in the east parking lot. Tickets are required, as well as we will be following CDC guidelines with social distancing, mask, and other safety protocols.
Thank you,
Yes.
Dr. Gray. And so we're going to open this up for questions. We do want to share with those reminders. There was a request, and I shared I would relay it to the board. And if in fact the board does not have a problem with this request, then I would also ask our school board attorney if she has a problem with it. The request comes from Mrs. Ethel, who is on the Topeka Public Schools Foundation board. And she asked if we could include the voter registration form for young people who are graduating, who are 18, who might not have registered to vote because of the pandemic. There weren't the kind of drives in schools that we would normally see. If when they graduated inside the diploma package, if we could put the voter registration application. If no board member has an issue with that, if Mrs. Cope is fine with us doing that, then we'll proceed accordingly. I see a lot of head nods, so I will make sure that our school board attorney is fine with us putting that in their diploma, and then they'll get their diploma and a reminder to vote or register to vote as well. I'll turn it over to the board. Do you have questions about graduation?
Dr. Bonebrick. So the communication to the board and public will happen how, Dr. Gray?
Thank you for that question, Dr. Bonebrick. In the event that we do have a rain delay, again, it will be posted on social media. We have our Facebook, we have our district website. We do have the ability to be able to blast emails to families. And so there are several ways that we can get the messages out to families. Also, principals can share that message with their families individually from the high schools, middle schools. So we have multiple ways in which we're going to get that message out, along with Cox
And that's
Cable Channel 14. So.
And that's the broader community. For you as a board member, each board member will get an individual phone call as well, and or text if you use cell messages. If there is a rain delay, and that notice would be given about now, we're in Kansas now, because it can rain at 8 and not be raining at 8:30. So 30 minutes in advance, you'll get that message, because we know our parents would like to make sure that they can have the ceremony. Now, if it sprinkles, then we will proceed with the sprinkle. Okay, but if it rains, that's a big difference. So sprinkling or misting will not require for promotion to be canceled. We also want our parents to know that we will not cancel. I think that's a lot of the phone calls today, a little fear from K-State and some other ceremonies that had significant rain, that the rain delay is it's moved to Sunday. If it rains on Sunday, then we always have Monday night and Tuesday night and Wednesday night. So parents, if it does rain, we certainly will proceed with the ceremony. We may have to make a little adjustment here or there in terms of what kinds of a stage equipment is utilized if we roll into Monday or Tuesday, but nonetheless, we will proceed.
I assume somebody's going to be watching the weather for lightning in the area, things like that during the day.
And if there is lightning, even during in preparation for the ceremony, with or without rain, if there is lightning, then we would have to also delay, much like a baseball game. We wouldn't be able to. We'd have to go to the rain delay plan.
Dr. Morrison.
I remember reading somewhere we're to be there a half hour before the 9:30. Is that correct?
Yes.
We're going to start walking 15 minutes before the start of the ceremony, so at least
be there by 9.
30 minutes early probably is safe.
Yes, and for our board members, they'll be, because you'll be there, you have a long day ahead of you as well, so there'll be a boxed lunch for you to be able to, as opposed to anything else that's sitting out, and certainly some spaces, some hospitality spaces for you if you would like to come any earlier than that, so you can wait in between if you prefer not to wait in your vehicle.
And somebody will be there to help with our robes, as you know, those are.
Oh, Miss Mosier loves doing that.
Oh,
Mr.
yes.
Robbins and Miss Mosier, she actually changes clothes for every school. She changes her dress, even though you're the only ones that I think see Miss Mosier. She changes her attire just to make sure she is there in full spirit. We thank Miss Mosier for that. So Mr. Robbins and his team, Miss Mosier is his administrative assistant. She will be there in full force as she normally would be.
Mr. Campbell.
So for the 2020 graduates, will the ceremony be just like it is for the 2021 graduates?
Dr. Gray, do you want to answer that?
Yes, ma'am, I can answer that. For the 2021 graduation, what you'll find is that each school has their individual program, and it's a more extended program. Whereas with the 2020 graduation, what we will have is Dr. Anderson, she will speak, Dr. Dr. Mickelson, and then we will have the principal speak, and then we will have a celebration of the graduates and then a conclusion. So it's an abbreviated version because we wanted to make sure that those 2020 graduates were celebrated for their hard work.
Some parents have asked, what will they get in their hand because they've already gotten their diploma? Well, we have little scrolls with a wonderful message from all of us in there, and they'll get that with the appropriate colored bow when they come across the stage. They also get a senior salute, which is a nice memory keepsake as well. Those are all of our updates for vaccination, the graduation, and we'll be coming back in late June to talk about strategic plan and equity.
Just one question, I guess, for clarity. CDC is recommending that schools continue to wear masks throughout the end of the school year. I assume that's going to be our position as well.
That has been our position, and I believe all neighboring districts for this year are still wearing masks as well,
Right,
sir.
okay. So we will cross that bridge when we get to it, but for the duration for the next 2 weeks, we're going to wear masks and
For the
indoors.
next 2 weeks. Thank you for, yes,
Okay.
for having us restate that, yes, for the rest of, and I will tell you, there are many people, and we said it in our graduation materials. Now, we know when people are outside, they may adjust at various events to some degree. At least they have in the past, as you may have gone to the jazz on the lawn at, or the dogs on the lawn at Topeka High. Yeah, and you saw people in their own family pods in ways that made sense. But in schools and at school events such as recess and other things that students are doing, we still have some students and families that have had loss as a result of COVID, have fear. We have certainly no elementary students that would be vaccinated as well. We also know that students have gotten COVID, whether they are more likely or not. It is true that they have gotten COVID in some cases. And lastly, we also know that there are some individuals that are immunocompromised and 3,000 people that have been remote. We want everyone to enjoy this end of the year timeframe. But we also know that our neighboring districts, from our understanding, are also still doing masks to the end of the year. We will in June and July come back to the board for that conversation as we prepare, because things have changed so rapidly with this pandemic. And we're hopeful we'll still be in a great position, and then the board can revisit that reopening time in June and July.
Thank you for that clarification. Dr. Morrison.
just a comment about her comments. And number one, 280, by February, 280 kids have died of COVID. So, I mean, it's out there. Number two, asymptomatic carriers can still pass those. And, you know, the children may not pass it back and forth very much, but they can pass it to parents, grandparents, et cetera, because they're asymptomatic. And the other concern I have, she was complaining about nasty masks. Don't we have replacement masks that we can offer those?
Absolutely. And sometimes students come without their mask because for whatever reason, so schools have those. And much like if a student came with dirty clothes or anything else, I will tell you that our principals are there and social workers to assist in changing that out. And I would hope any teacher, parent, or anyone else that sees a mask that's dirty just offers a replacement mask. We all have the ability to do that. You should also know there are some staff that cannot get the vaccine necessarily because of health reasons. They may have wanted it, but perhaps they could not because of health reasons. So they're still at risk as well. So that's just another small piece. Thank you, Dr. Morrison, for adding to my comments.
And for clarity, I pulled up the CDC website and update as of May 15th, so last week, CDC recommends schools continue to use the current COVID-19 prevention strategies for the 2020-2021 school year. So we'll continue to wear masks.
Yeah, she did quote WHO, which is an old update. That was, they recommended no masks in exercise activity clear back a year ago. So I don't know if that's still on their website, but that's obviously not true anymore.
Right. Dr. Bonebright, did you have a question, comment?
Is it common knowledge that masks are available for replacement? Because she obviously didn't seem to know.
At Jardine, it is certainly common knowledge, as large as that school is, because they've gone through a number of opportunities to replace it. And they have such a wonderful setup at the school, certainly that at that particular campus and all the campuses, but at Jardine in particular, they have a table set up. And when you come in the front door, you have all kinds of opportunities to receive what you need before you walk in the building and shortly after you walk in the building.
Thank you for the superintendent's report. Next on the agenda is action item. And we last 2 weeks ago were presented with a series of textbooks for updated textbooks for curriculum. And so I'll entertain a motion to.
Mr. President, I move the board approve the proposed adoption and purchase of recommended instructional resources as presented.
Thank you, Reverend Williams. Dr. Morrison offers a second. Is there any discussion on the motion? I don't see any. So I think we're ready to vote.
Vote is open. Okay, thank you. All votes are in and the motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is board member comments, and we'll start with Dr. Bonebright at the end of the table.
Mainly have questions. One, nobody can explain why all of Kansas is losing students, but I understand the population of Kansas isn't declining. So what's happening? Are old people from California moving here? Does our kids leave? And secondly, I'd like to see implementation of maybe some restorative justice, behavioral change. Dr. Morrissey at Topeka High has been an originator of this. And I wonder if all the schools are participating in this behavioral change, restorative justice. Seems like quite a program. And that's all I have for that.
Thank you, Dr. Bonebrake. Dr. Morrison.
So congratulations to our governor scholars. That's a very good honor and can put on their resumes later on in life. I had the opportunity to go to Topeka High to talk to the anatomy classes. I do that yearly, except last year, obviously. And that's just a very fun thing for me. I enjoy the students and the comments, and I bring up controversy and see what they think, and their young ideas are very interesting. So that, they were on reproductive anatomy, so I helped out with that. And that's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Morrison. Mr. Munoz.
I want to again emphasize our appreciation of generosity of Advisors Excel and Tracy and the work that she does with the company. And I also want to make the connection between what Advisor Excel is doing and also efforts like Pastor Jeremy at ShareFest, where there's a shift in thinking about what we're responsible for, just ourselves, but I think also more about each other. And so I enjoy seeing organizations, companies, churches who feel called to be able to reach out and partner with us. I think we need more individuals in our community to think like that, and that to begin to practice this idea of a village and responsible for each other. So I appreciate those two organizations. Pastor Jeremy, I look forward to ShareFest and what it brings next year, and Advisor Excel, appreciative of their support to both in manpower and also financially. Congratulations to Haley Cruz and Ruth Hockenberger and the work that they're doing through the police and that program, and look forward to see what they do going forward. Recently, I think earlier this semester, this week, I went and visited Chase with my daughter. She's made a decision to, and we work together. She's going to be going to Chase Middle School, so in Oakland. And so went and visited there and got her to get a sense of the lay of the land. And also, that's where I went to middle school as well. So I think it was great to visit again, and everything seems to be just as it was, just as I remember it. So obviously new teachers and new administration there, but it was great visit. And I mentioned it earlier, but I did have a chance to go to Highland Park High School and their gown ceremony, and that was completely new. It was nothing that was there when I was in high school here at 501, and it was really interesting and I think really impactful to see students acknowledge those in the schools that have helped them through 4 years, and what I can imagine an incredible, unbelievable last year as a senior year. So I think that was great to see, and I understand Topeka High had some sort of event as well, and so I'd love to be able to visit the different high schools around this time next year. See, thank you to OFG Financial and their sponsorship of that $1,000 scholarship. Again, going back to Advisors Excel and ShareFest and this idea of giving and helping, and us being the recipient. I think it takes all of us. I also want to thank the young individual who came and spoke to us about the masks. And regardless of whether we agree or not, I think what's important to be is that individuals feel like they can come here and share with us what's on their mind. That's what that space during any meeting of a board is for. And so I want individuals to know that if there are things that that are on their minds, reach out to us, and we may not agree, but we want to try and hear and create a space that's open for anyone. So thank her for being, for having the courage to come up here and to speak. That takes a lot of guts. And so, and lastly, I am really excited about graduation. I really wanted to have a graduation ceremony and be part of it last year, and obviously it got canceled because of COVID, but looking forward to two celebrations, 2020 and 2021. It'll be interesting, but I'm really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to seeing the faces of our students and the accomplishment and the sense of pride that comes along with surviving this last year, and the pride that comes along with the parents and staff and everyone who helped the students to get through this year. So that's all for me.
Mrs. Bully.
I want to thank the parents this year who were in the after-school prom party planning and all the efforts they put into place to make it a wonderful evening for our students that attended prom. And I think often about all the lives that they saved doing that giving of their time. Thank you, parents, for caring enough to do that, step up to that. Congratulations, Dr. Anderson, and it's so wonderful. We have some more money that we can give out in scholarships. That just makes our district so much better, and to OFC for having that program to allow that to happen. I also wanted to thank our textbook committee. I have been reading a little bit of the textbooks and one of the textbooks, and it's just excellent material. And so I've been on those committees and I know how difficult that is to go through that, and then to know we have to use this for several years, and how powerful it is to pick the right curriculum. So I want to thank all that team. The health department, I'm just so grateful that they wanted to partner with us, because I'm sure that took some thought process for them and for our district, but to make it so convenient for our families. We have so many families that it could take maybe 3 buses to get someplace to get a vaccination, and to have it so available to our families and our students. It's just like a miracle. And I know not everybody agrees with the vaccinations, but for the ones who want one, I just am so appreciative that our district stepped up to put that in place. And so that's just wonderful. Thank you to Topeka South Rotary Club for adding some more scholarship money for our students. It's just wonderful, the people that care about our district. I want to wish the best of luck to our teams that have either gotten close to state or are going to state. Good luck with that. It's just such an exciting time. I've been out to a lot of our buildings. I think I've only got 2 left on my list for this year to attend. And the principals are so welcoming and are just so willing to show me all the programs they have in place, so I have a better understanding of our district and how it works and what umbrella it's under. And it's just been really powerful. I always hear that Reverend Williams was here. So I always seem to slip in behind him somehow. Our students are in good hands. When I speak with these principals, they're top notch, and I just really appreciate them. I'm really excited about graduation too. I really was sad about it last year, but you know, COVID gave us all some changes in our life, but one of the changes I really appreciate is our new senior salute. To add this to our tradition, I just think this is such a nice keepsake for families, maybe the students, but it's something that we learned out of the pandemic that we think that we want to keep. So this is one of them. I just congratulate all the families and students that have made it. You are awesome. Thanks.
Mr. Campbell.
So last week I attended the dual language orientation at Topeka High for incoming freshmen. And so science is going to be offered at the high school in Spanish. And I think that is really, really great. And on Monday, I went to Topeka West to the clinic to cheer on our middle school students, including my own children. And I saw the therapy dog, and just the energy. I wanted to be a part of it because it is such a big deal. I wanted to see what it was like. I wanted to just be a part of the experience. And, the kids, I talked to a lot of kids, and they were having fun. It was a field trip because it was the only field trip they could take this year. And I think the fact that they were going together, took off some anxiety about the needle. Cause it's I'm with my buddies, I'm on the bus. So they actually they had a good time. And, you know, when I have teacher friends in other countries, and I've told them like Canada, Paraguay, Argentina, Spain, and they are like, do you know how lucky you are? I'm like, yes, I know. And they're like, your school district organized it? I'm like, yep. Bus transportation, everything. And they're just like, can't even believe it, because these are places where like some wealthier people are able to like get a visa and fly out of the country just to get a vaccine. So we're very lucky, and I'm so grateful that our district has made it so accessible to our families. And that's all I have to say. Thank you. Oh, and I'll see everybody this weekend. I'm so excited also for graduation.
Okay, I echo the comments of acknowledging the honorees for the various recognitions this evening. The highlight of my week was yesterday. I went to Avondale West Academy, and I was to visit with my mentees, and they challenged me, or I challenged them, to a game of horse. I will let you know I won, although I'm sore because I haven't shot a basketball in about 5 years, but I did win. I'm looking forward to this weekend. I have a great niece that's graduating from Highland Park. I wanted to have that experience. And Friday, thanks to Miss Lister, I've been invited to be interviewed by a student from the Wellington School, which is a private school in Columbus, Ohio, talking about the impact that the Brown v. Board decision has had on Topeka Public Schools in the areas of equity and diversity. So I'm looking forward to that, and I hope I'm up to the challenge. And with that, I close.
I have no doubt you will be superb at that, as we commemorated this week on the 17th, I believe, of the 67th anniversary of that Supreme Court decision that outlawed separate but equal. Just briefly, the past month or so, I've had the privilege to attend some academic achievement honors for my kids, and they're both Topeka Public Schools graduates, and they found their niche at Topeka High, both of them. Dr. Morrison helped my oldest, took her to KU Med School for a shadow day. Dr. Morrison and his physician wife did that. Our son was active in ROTC, and just as a parent to see your kids reach their academic goals and achievements and work towards that and recognize that it started within the halls of Topeka Public Schools is satisfying. So I thank the teachers within our district who help cultivate those dreams and aspirations. This coming week, I'm going to present at TCALC in their animal science department, and we're going to ultimately interview whoever's interested, and hopefully hire 3 of their students for summer employment at Hills Pet Nutrition. So we're anxious to get that going and see how that transpires. I'm anxious to start that. It's a leap for us to delve into students that young as a company, but we're gratified that we're taking that risk. And we'll see you on Saturday morning early, and hope the weather cooperates so we can celebrate our graduates. With that, we'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you.